Imagine finding yourself alone, lost in the heart of a merciless desert with no sign of life in sight. A truly chilling thought, isn't it? But that's exactly the predicament our protagonist found himself in. A man, an ordinary man who one day woke up to find himself in the middle of nowhere with no memory of how he got there. The desert, a vast expanse of sand and silence, stretched out before him, its mysteries hidden beneath the relentless sun. The heat was oppressive, the air thick with the arid scent of sand and solitude. The man was struck by the sheer size of it all, the boundless emptiness that seemed to swallow him whole. Confusion set in first. His mind was a whirlwind of questions. Where was he? How did he get here? Why couldn't he remember? But as the initial shock wore off, confusion gave way to fear. The reality of his situation began to sink in. He was alone, lost, with no sign of civilization in sight. Desperation quickly followed. The man was a city dweller, ill-prepared for the harsh realities of the desert. He had no food, no water, no shelter from the punishing heat. His survival instincts kicked in, but he was woefully unprepared. But amidst the fear and desperation, there was something else, a sense of awe. The desert, for all its harshness, was breathtakingly beautiful. The endless dunes, the shifting sands, the stark, unadorned beauty of it all. It was a sight to behold, yet the man was not here by choice. He was a captive of the desert, trapped in its sandy embrace with no idea how to escape. His fear, his confusion, his awe, they were all part of his initial experience, his first taste of the enigma that is the desert. Little did he know this would be the beginning of a 40-day ordeal that would test the limits of his endurance. The desert had claimed another victim, drawing him into its enigmatic depths. But would he succumb to its merciless clutches, or would he find the strength to survive? Only time would tell. As days turned into nights, he stumbled upon a sight that gave him chills. An abandoned town, swallowed by the sands of time. The man, lost in the expansive desert, found himself standing at the threshold of a ghost town. This place, once bustling with life, now lay abandoned and forgotten, with only the eerie sound of the wind whispering tales of its past. The silence was haunting, yet in the quiet he could almost hear the echo of children's laughter, the murmur of marketplace chatter, and the rhythm of daily life that once pulsed through the town's veins. The town seemed to be frozen in time, a relic of a bygone era, caught in the relentless grip of the desert. Buildings stood like skeletal remains, their walls bleached by the sun and battered by the wind. The streets, once trodden by countless feet, were now blanketed in a thick layer of sand, untouched for who knows how long. Yet, amidst the desolation, there was a strange sense of serenity. The man found himself drawn to the remnants of a life once lived. He wandered through the empty alleys, peered into deserted homes, and rummaged through the remnants of a civilization that had vanished, leaving behind only traces of its existence. In the silence of the ghost town, he found resources that became his lifeline. He discovered an old well, its water tasting of rust and time, but it was water nonetheless. He found remnants of homes where he could seek shelter from the scorching sun and the chilling nights. He discovered tools discarded and forgotten which he used to hunt for food and build a fire. His days in the ghost town were marked by a strange solitude, yet he wasn't alone. The spirits of the past were his companions, whispering stories of resilience and survival. The ghost town, a symbol of desolation, ironically became his sanctuary. It was here that he found the strength to endure, the courage to survive, and the hope to continue his journey. The ghost town, a place of shadows and whispers, became his refuge in the heart of the desert. Survival in the desert is a game of resilience, and our protagonist was learning its rules fast. Every day brought new challenges, and every challenge was a lesson in survival. As the sun rose, our protagonist set out on his daily routine. His first task was searching for food, a quest that often led him to scavenge for edible plants or hunt small desert creatures. He had to be careful, though. Every morsel he consumed had to provide him with the energy he needed to face the day ahead. Water, the elixir of life, was even more scarce. He had to make do with what little he could find, and he learned to conserve every precious drop. He rationed his water intake, drinking just enough to keep his body functioning, but not enough to feel quenched. He also collected dew in the early morning, a clever tactic that allowed him to gather a bit more water for the arduous day ahead. The desert weather was another formidable opponent. The scorching sun would beat down on him relentlessly during the day, making every task doubly difficult. At night, temperatures would plummet and he would have to huddle for warmth, wrapping himself in whatever he could find. He had to be resourceful too. He used his knowledge and wit to devise ingenious survival tactics. He learned to navigate by the stars, to find shelter in the most unlikely of places, to use every part of his surroundings to his advantage. Days turned into weeks. His body grew weaker, but his spirit remained unbroken. He kept his mind sharp, focusing on the task at hand, refusing to let his circumstances get the better of him. The desert was a harsh teacher, but our protagonist was a quick study. He faced each day with renewed determination, proving time and again that the human spirit is capable of withstanding adversity. Despite the odds stacked against him, he refused to succumb to despair. On the 40th day, a glimmer of hope in the form of a distant caravan appeared on the horizon. Imagine the overwhelming relief washing over him, a solitary figure dwarfed by the vast expanse of the unforgiving desert. The sight of the caravan was like a mirage come to life, a beacon of salvation in the midst of relentless desolation. It was the promise of a return to civilization, a return to life as he once knew it. His rescue was not a grand spectacle, it was a quiet, understated moment of profound significance. His parched lips cracked into a smile, his eyes welled up with unshed tears. The strangers welcomed him with open arms, their faces etched with a mixture of shock and awe at his tale of survival. The journey back to civilization was a transition from the surreal to the familiar. The once mundane sights and sounds of life became a symphony of existence that he had nearly forgotten. The taste of fresh water, the sound of laughter, the warmth of a bed. These were the simple pleasures he had yearned for during his 40 days in the desert. Yet his return was not without its challenges. The physical toll was evident. The sunburnt skin, the weight loss, the exhaustion, but it was the mental toll that lingered, etched into his psyche like the shifting sands of the desert. The isolation, the fear, the desperation, these were the invisible scars he carried with him. His journey ended, but his story of survival against all odds remains a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. His ordeal was a stark reminder of the strength we all carry within us, often untapped until we are pushed to our limits. In the face of adversity, when all seems lost, it is the will to survive and the power of hope that propels us forward. His story is not just a tale of survival, but a lesson in resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. So let's remember, as long as there is life, there is hope.